to switch gears because I said we're going to be talking about how to make your dreams come true, how to make your desires and all of your why you're doing this, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, how to make this happen. And this is something that I struggled with for 8 years. I always wanted to know how to do it. How am I going to make it happen? Yes, I want this to happen, but how? And that's what they say, personal development teaches you how. Well, even that, if, for example, you say to yourself, next month, I want to make $20,000. Naturally, your mind's going to turn to think, okay, how am I going to make $20,000? And I want to use the example of a radar screen. If you've ever been on a submarine, or you've seen movies and you've seen, they always look at this radar screen or aircraft control towers, and you see blips on your radar screen, which indicates, what's in the area. And in life, we have a radar screen that our brain looks into. We look at our circumstances today. You may have a kid or a son or a daughter, and they come to you and say, hey, I need next month $250 for basketball camp. The first thing you do is think to yourself, okay, let me look at my finances, let me look at my expenses. This is what I currently make. Where am I going to get this extra $250 from? Because it's not on my radar screen. And that's how most of us operate in life. We make judgments and decisions based on what we can actually see. Now, see, and I have no qualms saying this, but I am a Christian. And I was raised taught to have faith and belief. And ask, and it is given. There is nothing that you can accomplish without the help of Jesus Christ. Now, this is my personal faith, and I don't mean to push this on. This isn't me pushing or preaching to anybody. But I'm going to teach you a natural law here. You may not know how, but you still ask for it anyway. You still believe that you can get it. And the way I can explain this is this radar screen. Even though you don't see how you can possibly accomplish what you desire, because on your radar screen it's just not going to happen. You're like, how am I going to make $20,000 when I may get laid off next month? But you don't realize that getting laid off may actually be a precursor to you getting that $20,000. One event leads to another event, but more importantly, when you start to ask for things, and more importantly, you start to have a faith and a belief that it's going to happen. You just don't know how yet, but it's going to happen because you desire it. You have to understand that radar screen that you're looking at, that may be 3 inches in diameter, the screen itself is actually about 3 miles in diameter. You can only see 3 inches. If you've ever, as a boy, I used to take magnifying glasses and study ants and bugs. And when I look through that magnifying glass, I can only see in the diameter of that magnifying glass. Yet the ant colony is vast. And to see more, I have to move the magnifying glass. And I realized, whoa, this thing keeps going and going and going. Same with our radar screen. We're only seeing a small picture of the events that's developing around our lives. And when we have to understand that when you start to make a new decision and a change and to take a new direction, things start moving around on that radar screen that you can't see to make things happen. And all of a sudden, as if by magic, things start to happen in your life that you had no idea was even possible. You didn't even see it on your radar screen. Some people call it luck. Others call it magic. Or others say, well, he's just got a good vibe about him. He's just got a good vibration about him. And that's just how things work. So what happened with me late last year, it took years for me to figure this out. And my mother taught this to me, and in Sunday school, every day of my life when I was younger. I just didn't get it. But I got it at the end of last year, around September. And I switched my focus from the how to the faith, belief, and desire that this is what's going to happen in my life because I want it. I'm calling for it. And they always say you must act as if you already have it and be thankful for it. Give thanks that you will already receive it. It may not come the way you want it to come, but it's going to come as long as you're having those thoughts. Thoughts are things. I want you guys to go look on YouTube, anything by Earl Nightingale, anything by Napoleon Hill, anything by John C. Maxwell, Brian Tracy, Tim Sales, but more importantly, Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale. And they stumbled upon something. Well, they didn't really stumble, but they let out some secrets, and these are secrets that the wealthy understand. You know, the wealthy they don't focus on the how. They make a decision. You look at Donald Trump. You think Donald Trump is focused on, when he makes a decision, he's all worried about how it's going to happen? Absolutely not. He just makes a decision. It doesn't matter how small or big that decision is. And to be a successful person, to really get outside of your comfort zone, you have to think big. You have to think things that you might think are impossible, but because you believe that it can happen, it can happen. President Kennedy said, we're going to the moon before this decade is out. What? We've been on this planet for how many centuries and eons? And you're talking about not just putting man in space, but you're going to put a man on the moon? You cannot say that is a person that didn't have vision. He didn't care about the how. He made a statement, and then the how worked itself out. Same concept in your life. You make a decision on what it is that you want to accomplish. You believe that that's going to happen, and what's going to start to happen is the how will work itself out. It's just mechanical. You can have two individuals that have the same skills, that have the same physical attributes, and you put them in the same industry, and they end up with two different results. One has massive success and the other one doesn't. And you wonder why. What is it the one that has success, what did he have that was different than the one who didn't have success? Because they had the same attributes. One had a stronger will, a stronger desire, a stronger belief, and held on to that as long as possible, had the feeling of it, whereas the other didn't. This is prevalent in the NBA today. You have a lot of guys that are tremendously talented, yet what makes one person, one player than another, a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, or I don't even want to mention that former Cleveland guy's name, but what sets them apart from the rest? If all things are equal, they just have a stronger willpower, desire. I love watching Michael Jordan play or Tiger Woods. They just will their way against all logical reasoning. They make it happen. And this is what you have to do in your life. Don't focus on the how. Am I doing the three-way call right? Am I doing the presentation call right? Did I say the right thing to this person or that person? First things first. You cannot say the right thing to the wrong the wrong thing to the right person. You cannot say the right thing to the wrong person. It doesn't matter. You will screw things up, and that's okay, because that's how you practice. When we set up this system, we decided we were going to do a call once a day. The company was only doing them twice a week. We decided we were going to do a call once a day, and we didn't have the numbers to support a call once a day. We only had a small team, so why will we have a call once a day? Well, for several reasons. One, we know we're going to have a huge organization, without a shadow of a doubt. Looking on our radar screen and what we were working with, it's almost impossible that was going to take place, being on the current course that was at that time. But we prepared for it anyway. We don't worry about the how. We believe that it's going to happen. And not only that, by doing it every single day and nobody was on the calls, there were times where I would literally call into the conference call line on a second line. It's just me and myself on the line, and I would do the presentation anyway. And this is a true story. I'm not going to mention names. But on one of these calls, one person that's front line to me came on the call about 10 minutes late. Normally, after 5 minutes when nobody's on, we might shut down. But that night, I just wanted to do it anyway, just for practice. This person hopped on the call. This person signed up into the business. And this person is having huge success. And it's amazing how things work out like that. But we did it for practice. And here we are now at the beginning of the year. And we actually have numbers to support not just one call a day, but we had to have 3. And that's starting to increase. So we had to have the belief. We declared what we wanted to have happen first. We didn't worry about the how. The how would work itself out. And I want you to be very understanding of that in your life. And when I understood that, when I look on my radar screen, I might not see how it's even possible for me to succeed with the goals that I have set. And when I let go of that and decided, you know what, I don't care, I'm going to make it happen anyway. That's when my life changed as far as professional business. And this was at the end of last year. And everything has just been as if by magic. I was just talking to another friend of mine the other day. And you have 2 friends that started off on equal planes, equal paths. In fact, that friend had more knowledge in this business than I did. And yet, the success that our organization has had is seen as luck. It just dropped into our laps. Literally. I say that literally. Things have just fallen into our laps without much effort on our part, because we had the belief and the faith. And one last thing that is very important is having the feeling of what you want, and you focus and hold on to that feeling. So let's say, for example, you're brand new, and your goal is I want to retire from my job by May. Okay, naturally you're going to think to yourself, okay, what do I have to do starting from now to May to make sure I can retire from my job? Instead of that being your main focus, switch it to, how would it feel like for me to wake up Monday morning in May and not have to go to work? What would I do with my day, and how would I feel while I'm doing it? What would it feel like to know that I don't have to go to sleep early because I got to get up early in the morning? How would it feel to know that every single day is a Friday or a Saturday? How would it feel to know that sometimes you forget what day it is because they all it's the same day for you? What would it feel like to be able to have the money now because you don't have to wait for a 2-week vacation, but at any time you can just get up and go? My good friend Charles Jordan went on vacation in Florida, liked it so much he stayed there for a couple months. I think 8 months to be exact. Why? Because he didn't have to come running back to a job. How would that feel if you were able to do that? You focus on that feeling. You think about it when you wake up in the morning. You think about it when you go to sleep. You think about it while you're during the day. You imagine it happening for yourself, and everything on that radar screen will start to turn for you. And all of a sudden, things will start to happen. You've all know people in your lives who you consider are lucky. It's like good things just always happen to that person. But here's the sad part, okay? The reverse is also in effect. If you're thinking to yourself all the time, I can't make that happen, it's impossible, or you're always having bad thoughts, you're always saying bad things happen to me, I don't think I really deserve this to happen, I don't think that success is going to happen for me, well, guess what? That's exactly what you're going to get. You are asking for that in your life. If you don't understand what I mean, you all know of a person that's been in an abusive relationship. And you look at this person's history, and you see that this woman has been in an abusive relationship in every single relationship. And you were to ask her, what is it that you're looking for in a guy? And she says, I'm looking for a guy who doesn't smoke, who doesn't do drugs, who doesn't drink. I want a guy who doesn't treat me bad. I want a guy who doesn't stay out late. Okay, look at the things that she said. Instead of saying what she wants, she's saying what she doesn't want. The universe doesn't work like that. It doesn't hear negative. All it heard and all she spoke of is drink, smoke, drugs, hit me, stay out late, treat me bad. That's exactly the type of guy she's going to attract to her. It's like magnet. Watch your thinking. Now, I'm 35 minutes over.